Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions. Just like I mentioned yesterday, this week we are doing my choice. I get to choose what we're doing, and we are looking at the Falling in Reverse trilogy. Yesterday we looked at Losing My Mind. Today we look at Losing My Life. Before we get into this, I just want to remind everybody, if you can, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Alright, so with that, we are going to move into Losing My Life. I don't know what's going on in this thumbnail, but it's pretty funny. That face. That face is killing me. Alright, yeah, yesterday I mentioned how it was really interesting to see all of the different ideas coming together into a cohesive song, despite how different some of the concepts come from, and I'm kind of expecting more of that today. So let's get into it. Got a lot of hard drives in that computer. Drive F, I, R, E, and LML. Never heard of a drive that lets you go that high. That's the future, I guess.
Do I know you? Yes, you do. This seems so familiar. You're in a dream.
Yeah, there's that electronica.
I am your reflection. You've been asleep for a very long time.
Oh, alright, I like this evolution already. Combining the electronica aspects with the rock instruments. Giving it a really big epic sound.
I lay awake every night, looking back on my life. Will apologies to the people I love for the things I've done really make it right? I guess it might. Just then I realized my past is the reason I'm here right now. As a matter of fact, I won't apologize. You bitches always bitch cause I am constantly changing. Think of how far that I've made it from
lots of these very explosive downbeats.
But I'm in the zone, I'm a rolling stone, I'm coming home, but I'm not alone. Do I really gotta let another motherfucker know?
And another song that uses silence with just vocals to transition between ideas. Very prominent drumming, which I don't remember yesterday.
Why did you go to jail?
I'm a lot smarter than you think.
Relatable.
To get you to listen, to get your attention, you post an opinion and it gets me bigger. Are you triggered? Figures, here's the kicker. With every trigger, I'm getting richer from offended, bitter little Twitter pictures all up in my mentions, looking for attention because they starved them. If you want to call me the
There's that triple that I was talking about yesterday.
Like a second cut, I respawn like I have a reset button, hated more than trumpets, running rags back to rapping, acting ratchet, release a cracker, delete your asses. I'm not the rapper, I'm the motherfucking morning after.
Yeah. Really digging the rhythmic competency he displays every once in a while when he's rapping. And it's interesting, last time we had silence, this time we had a snare roll on that transition into the big moment. Yeah, and this one seems angrier. Get a breakdown in here. The whole band lined up rhythmically for that line.
Dad, wake up!
Oh fuck, what the?
You were having a bad dream.
Where am I? Turn the fucking music off. Who the fuck are you?
I'm your daughter.
Oh no, you're too old to be my daughter. What year is it?
It's 2033.
Oh no, no it's not. No.
got some more of that auto-tune doing harmonies under the yelling.
Just kill myself sometimes.
All right. I am a little interested in how the song sounds in its single form. Versus this more cinematic music video. Because there's two cinematic aspects would be there at the end, and then when he wakes up in the future, where the music is acting more of a score to the narrative elements in the acting. So I'm interested in how the, like I said, how it would sound as a single if they keep those elements in and maybe just remove the narrative, the spoken lines during the point where he wakes up, or if they're kind of cut and shortened a little bit to provide a little bit better flow to the entire song. So far, I think this is my favorite Falling in Reverse song. As a casual listen, I still think The Drug in Me is Reimagined is going to be my favorite on a thematic, critical level. There's just such good cohesion in that song between what's being sung and the music. There's just perfect marrying. I talked about it before. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, go watch the reaction I had to that one. But I think this is going to be my favorite as a casual listener. There's just so many really cool moments in here that I just enjoyed listening to, which is very different from yesterday's Losing My Mind, because like I said, I'm intrigued by that one. I was intrigued about how it merged everything together and still sounded cohesive, but there wasn't really anything that really stuck with me. It was a good jam, but like I said, not something I'm going to be thinking about in a month. This, though, oh man, I could listen to this another 5 times just for my personal enjoyment, and be happy doing it. So let's start from the top. I kind of wanted to do a massive comparison between this and Losing My Mind, just because I feel like this takes the same concept and executes on it so much better. But I don't want to, I've mentioned in the past, I don't like comparing songs too often. I like to approach music on their own terms. But I just feel like, especially given that these two songs are connected thematically, they're connected by release time, they're connected because they're part of a trilogy of songs. There's a lot of connections here. I feel like there's a lot of maturation that happened between Losing My Mind and Losing My Life. The merging of the rock and the electronic sections are stronger here. The rapping is better rhythmically. I think it flows better. I think it also shows a bit more technicality on his part to do some of the faster lines and to implement more wilder, I guess is the word I'm looking for, wilder rhythmic elements into his rapping. And then just the bridge. the bridge was just better here. And I understand that yesterday's bridge was probably done for a more thematic element. The spoken word was designed to really emphasize what was being said. You don't have to worry about trying to decipher through the singing voice or to keep up with the rapping. It's one of the nice things about spoken voice, especially when you cut out a lot of the music that's going on, which I think there wasn't a lot going on yesterday during that bridge. It really puts an emphasis, and it might have been the thesis of the song, and it was important for him to make sure that that was clearly stated. However, on a musical level, I think this bridge just works a lot better. It takes a lot of the energy that we've already seen and amplifies it and condenses it and pushes it forward and really lays out a section that I feel like the whole song was building towards. What I mean by that is that this is a much angrier song than Losing My Mind. That one had this poppiness to it throughout the whole song. Even the part when he was like floating through the clouds, we hit a extremely poppy element there. Very uplifting almost. But this one, there's anger. There's anger in the rapping. I feel like there's a lot more. There's harsher attacks in the raps. And not only that, like I said, there's completely different, not even just a tonal shift of having harsher attacks, but also the rhythmic complexity showcases a bit of condescendingness, I would say, to whoever he's speaking to. And then, of course, the chorus is not the clean singing that we saw yesterday. There is harsh vocals. It is almost like a distorted clean that wants to really crack into that fry, but he doesn't let it. And then we have plenty of these, maybe like a 1 bar or like half a bar gap of silence with just the vocals that land in just these super punchy downbeats on beat 1 of the next bar. There's a lot of aggression to this song. It feels angry, and of course, that all culminates in the bridge, which is him moving into fry vocals. And, you know, in the video, he's yelling at himself, so maybe that's who he's mad at. But, yeah, there's just a lot of pent-up anger that I feel like we barely scratched the surface on through the verse and the chorus, and then that bridge really lets it all out. And I really love that. And I mentioned that I was curious how this would work as a single if they would cut out that the instrumental part when he wakes up in the future, because that comes right after the breakdown. And I can't imagine all that energy dissipating into the next chorus. You need that middle section of, not silence, but definitely, bringing everything down a notch. It really gives the listener a moment to breathe because they haven't had that since the second verse. Subsequently, it also allows the energy to die down a little bit before we ramp it back up for the ending, which is even bigger than the other choruses. He does a little bit of embellishment and ornamentation on it. He changes his vocal patterns. He puts vocal harmonies. And on the penultimate run through of the line, he actually brings in the fry vocals from the breakdown underneath his yelling. And it's really high energy. You need that middle part. But the middle part is kind of lacking any oomph, any momentum. And I don't think that middle part would work without the narrative scene. The scene from the music video. Because there's really not a lot going on there. It needs a melody line or something to stand on its own. So I agree that the section is needed, but the section I don't think works outside of the frame of the music video. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in how that works in the audio only version. Whether they just keep it in there or if they gut it, they cut that section and end up ruining some of the pacing. Let's see, what else? I mentioned the band when the song started, and yeah, I am glad that they're more prominently played here. And it's interesting that we are getting closer to Popular Monster here, because I'm actually really curious how prominently the band is going to be displayed tomorrow when we check out Drugs, because that's sort of going to be the stepping stone into Popular Monster. And I think it would be really cool to see this progression of growth, the maturity, this maturation of the band as they slowly figure out how they're going to interweave all of these different elements into a cohesive falling in reverse sound, rather than the mismatched, mishmashed idea that they had going for them in Losing My Mind, where everything was very isolated and they very rarely overlapped. Speaking of the band, though, having a little bit more prominence, yeah, man, that drummer was killing it. The guitarist still kind of doing some power chord stuff. The keyboardist was really playing some. They were playing some nice melody lines, kind of hitting that synth sound. But the drummer really shined a couple of times here, and it's a shame that they didn't have that chance to do that on Losing My Mind. However, though, I think it'd be impossible for me to walk away from this and not talk about how the focus is still on the vocalist. And it makes me wonder how the band's relationship to him, what that relationship is and how it all fits together. Because to me, it feels like his band. Whereas the people, his bandmates are not his, but the Falling in Reverse brand, I guess you could say, is his, and the music is there to support and buttress his vocals. And I might end up listening to Popular Monster again on my own time after tomorrow, having the trilogy completed, and kind of seeing how they fit in there, but I don't remember them being very prominent either. So I wonder if that's just how the band works. I can't think of any other band I've heard, especially a rock band like this, where the singer is just pushed so much more into the spotlight than anything else in the band. It's done to an almost obscene element. And I made this connection yesterday, but it is a very pop way of mixing the vocals. They are just put in so much of the spotlight, the music's pushed back. I will say, though, that the synth string section was a bit on his level in the chorus. I think that's the only instrument that really got up to where he was in the mix and started to kind of muddy that up a little bit, which could be the problem here too. It might not just be that he's purposefully getting himself featured in the music. It could just be the way that his voice works, because the violin part really does muddy up his vocals just a tiny bit, and that could just be mixing, or it could just be the way that his voice kind of fits within the pockets of the music. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to hear such a pop. It's almost like they went and got a pop producer to produce this mostly rock track. It's really interesting. So yeah, once again, we have a song that mixes a lot of elements together, but at least this time I can see a lot of cohesion where we didn't see yesterday. I think there's a lot of maturation. I don't know why I can't say maturation the first time. There is growth to this band from yesterday's song to today's song, and I'm really interested to see where they go from here with Drugs and how that song is going to take this idea and further cement it into the Falling in Reverse sound. But until next time, those are just my thoughts on Falling in Reverse's Losing My Life. This is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this or not. If you have any context to it, anything like that, drop some comments. Let me know. Above that is a description box if you'd like to join the Discord community, chat with myself and the other members of the critical community. Maybe you'd like to support the channel through Patreon. Maybe you just want to follow me on Twitter. All those links are in the description. Beneath that is the next way to support the channel. If you would like, you can like, subscribe. If you would like, you can like. If you want, you can like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, as usual, with another reaction. We're going to be looking at the next Falling in Reverse song, the final one for the trilogy. And until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.